Well, folks, that is playoff hockey right there. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators were facing off in today's game. The Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights were facing off in game three. Game three. I should get that straightened out. But the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues were also facing off in game three. It's just all the hockey right now is so entertaining. The Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning were only playing the second game of their series. And let's talk about it. Welcome to Kicking with Kipes. Let's start off with my favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. In game three, in the first game in Ottawa, they have a 2-0 lead in the series heading into this game, looking to put a stranglehold grip on. My dog is acting like a psycho. The Leafs are looking to put a stranglehold on the Ottawa Senators, going up 3-0. The Senators, they score first. What is happening here? I don't know. Claude Giroux on the power play puts the Senators up 1-0. A very nice wrist shot from him, just right inside the zone, top of the circles, in the middle of the slot. It was a very nice shot. The Senators, they go up 1-0. And then the Leafs, they go on the power play. Matthew Nice, he was the last Maple Leaf to touch it. It goes off a Senator or two, and then into the back of net. So 1-1. And then 30 seconds into the third period, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they go up 2-1 in this game. An unbelievable, insane pass from Mitch Marner behind the net through the legs of Jake Sanderson, the defenseman of the Ottawa Senators, and boom, Austin Matthews into the back of the net for the lead. Allmark, he was looking that way, and the puck was over there. He had no idea what planet that puck was on. But 11 minutes later, it was the captain, Brady Tkachuk. The two captains score back-to-back in this game. Not the captain anymore, Johnny Tavares, not the captain anymore. But Brady Tkachuk, a nice wrist shot that beat Stolarz. Arguably, Stolarz should have had that shot, but I will forgive him because of how good and how many times he's saved the Leafs in this series so far. So, Stolarz, I forgive you on that one. It was a bit weak, but it is 2-2. We head into overtime. Just over a minute into the overtime period, Max Domi, he takes a shot on net. Allmark makes a pretty straightforward, simple save. The puck is frozen. The ref blows the whistle for an offensive zone on the right-hand side of Linus Allmark. The Leafs top line is on the ice. Benoit and Ekman Larson on the blue line. Matthews wins the draw. It goes to Simon Benoit, the guy who set up the overtime game-winning goal in Toronto in Game 2. He takes a shot. Boom. Back of the net. Eggs Benny for breakfast tomorrow. We are up 3-0 in the series. We got a stranglehold, an Undertaker stranglehold on the series heading into Game 4. Will they be able to sweep the Senators? I don't know. But I would love for it to happen. I have a sneaky suspicion that the Senators might squeak one out now that they are up against the wall and the firing squad is upon them. But the Leafs, they can very much do it. We will see what happens in the next game. The Leafs, they have a 3-0 series lead after they win 3-2 in back-to-back games, both in overtime. Let's stay in the Atlantic Division, shall we? The Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning are supposed to have a home ice advantage in the series. Well, that is gonzo. They have lost back-to-back games in Tampa on home ice to their state rivals, and it hasn't looked very good. Tonight's game was 2-0. The other night was 6-2. So in total, it is 8-2 between those two games in favor of the Florida Panthers, who are supposed to coming into these playoffs hurt and injured and slowing down. That is not the case. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they have been bamboozled on home ice. They did not look very good in tonight's game. They took a couple stupid penalties, one being very, very bad. Let's just get that out of the way. Brandon Hagel, he makes a huge hit on captain Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers. Barkov, he goes down injured, does not return to the game. It looks like a head injury, which is not good at all. Hopefully Barkov is okay, but Hagel gets a 5-minute major, and the Panthers, they capitalize. That was a complete lie. The Panthers, they did not capitalize on that shot, but it was Nate Schmidt that got a goal in this game. Back-to-back games for Nate Schmidt getting a goal, so he is coming up huge for his team. And Sam Bennett, he picks up his second goal as well in this series. Back-to-back games for him as well. So the Florida Panthers, they now have a stranglehold and they have home ice advantage now. They are now up 2-0, heading back home to Sunrise, and Yeah, where are the Tampa Bay Lightning? They need to show up now. And I'm speechless. I did not see this coming from the Florida Panthers. I wouldn't have been surprised if they split this home and home because of how close these two teams are, but the Florida Panthers, they are looking scary good right now. Up next, we got the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Minnesota Wild. In Minnesota, the Wild, they surprised the world and took a game out of the Vegas Golden Knights' hands. They head back to Minnesota with the series tied 1-1, and the Wild, they take that momentum and carry it into this game, having huge nights from their star players. The end score for this game was 5-2 for the Minnesota Wild. Kirill Kaprizov having an amazing game. He got 2 goals for 2 points. Matt Boldy, he's having an unbelievable playoff so far. These two players are carrying the Minnesota Wild to this 2-1 series lead. Boldy, he had a goal and assist for 2 points as well in this game. Absolutely incredible performance from the Minnesota Wild. That crowd was electric. So incredibly loud. Marcus Foligno, he got the empty netter to put the nail in the coffin for the Minnesota Wild in this game. The other goal scorers for the Vegas Golden Knights was Riley Smith and Alex Pietrangelo. So 2 good names for the Vegas Golden Knights to score, but Jack Eichel, 0 points in this series so far. That needs to change now. The last game of the day is the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues playing Game 3 in St. Louis. The St. Louis Blues kick the crap out of the Winnipeg Jets, winning 7-2 in this game. The biggest goal margin in the playoffs so far, 5 goals. Insane. Most goals scored by a team in the playoffs so far, 7. The Winnipeg Jets looking like crap tonight, as always. But I'm kidding. The Winnipeg Jets have looked very good in these playoffs as of late, but the first 2 games are gone. They need to play good on the road here, and oh boy, did they not. Pavel Buchnevich, he scores a hat trick in this game. 1, 2, and 3 goals of the playoffs for him. Absolutely incredible. Cam Fowler, he also picks up his first of the series. Parayko, he picks up his first of the series. Kyrou, he picks up his second of the series. An all-around effort from the St. Louis Blues tonight. Binnington looked very good, very solid in net. There was one point in the game he made a very good save, but it was looked at by video review, and it looked like it crossed the line. I can see where Jets fans are getting upset about this, but there is not enough conclusive evidence to say that it crossed the net or crossed the goal line completely, so the NHL deemed that there was not enough evidence to overturn that call. Gustafsson and Pionk were the 2 goal scorers for the Winnipeg Jets in this game. They were without DeMello in this game, so it is understandable that their defense was a little bit weaker, but not this bad. Holy crap. Huge performances in this game from some players. Cam Fowler, of them being the best. 5 points in this game, 1 goal, 4 assists. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. The Ducks gave him up earlier in this season. Not gave him up. They traded him to the St. Louis Blues earlier in this season, and it has worked out very well now for Cam Fowler. It started off pretty slow. He scored in his first game as a St. Louis Blue in the outdoor game against the Chicago Blackhawks, but it was going pretty good, but then it was slow for a bit. But this is a huge night that the St. Louis Blues desperately needed, and Fowler came through in a big way. Pavel Buchnevich, like I said, he scored a hat trick in this game, added an assist, so he got 4 points on the night as well. Robert Thomas had an incredible night. What did he do? 4 assists. 4 assists for Robert Thomas in this game. The Jets had no answers for these top players of the St. Louis Blues, and the Jets, they still lead the series 2-1, but the momentum is in St. Louis's favor. Let's see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit like, hit subscribe, do your thing. If you're new here, make sure you follow me on TikTok. If you're new here, make sure you follow me on YouTube here. I'm on Instagram as well, so follow me on all the social media things that we can do. Let's grow this channel as big as we can get it. I'm trying to work my best to get some interviews going, but that's not going so hot as of now. Too many people wound up in... If you're not in the playoffs, people are pretty hard to get a hold of. If they're in the playoffs, they ain't talking to a random dude like me. But that's besides the point. We will talk to you tomorrow during the recaps, and have a great night. Thanks for watching.